I understand we are all Nigerians, with some of us having dual citizenship. I also understand all of us worship in different areas. So we are actually coming from different backgrounds of our faiths, our religion. And please, in case there is any person, and I have been told to work on that, disruption. If you look at the word disrupt, what is the meaning? We started talking about intervention, interruption, talk about execution, timing, and the rest of them. So what does it mean to disrupt? And how can disruption causes you and me to become a good person? What can disruption bring as a benefit? And what is it that is going to also bring that is not a benefit? So we're going to be looking at these things clearly and knowing that it will be good for every one of us. Is that okay? So just follow and we will. The first thing you will look at is to disrupt simply means distorting normal patterns. That is the word disrupt. To disrupt, it simply means to distort normal patterns, which is normal ways of doing things, which means traditional ways, cultural ways, religious ways, social ways, tribal ways, and probably racial ways. You know, when you get into some people, they have been friends for 20 years, and they are the same tribe, from the same village. But by the time they begin to say, well, we need to add one more friend, the friend is not from their village, is not from their country, you are disrupting the relationship. You are distorting the normal way, which means certain things cannot be done the way the two used to do it. Because we have different perspectives, we have different ways of reading and seeing things. So to disrupt simply means to distort normal patterns. You used to wake up 6 every morning. Something happened that you are going to start waking up 4 a.m. It's a disruption. Yes. You used to go to work late until one day you appear and you discover that the gate was closed. And they say, all of you that are outside, your job has come to an end. You will start valuing time from that day because you have been disrupted. So we need to look at, and for you to be here in this meeting this morning, and those of you who were around yesterday, it was a choice. It was a choice for you to be here. It is still going to be a choice for you to listen, for you to learn, for you to improve. It is going to be a choice. And choice is a sign of freedom. Freedom simply means you have been given the free will. You can say yes and you can say no. Because yesterday we heard that execution can be negative and positive. depending on what you want to do. So every human is born with a choice, and we have that choice to emanate from what is called a will. Every one of us has been given a will. Now, if today I decide I'm going to be a Muslim, it's a choice. But the choice is based on freedom that I am given. If you do not have freedom to make a choice, then you don't have any freedom to become anything, which means you are now forced to become. If today I decide I'm going to go and live in Congo, it's a choice. But when we begin to force, then we are mutilating people's wills, and you are going to get reaction. And that is what humans today have not. Now, we have said these things in this country, so distorting normal pattern. And yesterday, it was actually a disruptive teachings or session that we had. One of the major ones which we all look at is time will tell. And how many of you know that in Nigeria we say it with pride? Time will tell. And when we say that, we are saying it from a vengeful part. It's like you are laughing at me now. I don't look like somebody you can relate with now. I am not relevant with this relationship. Meaningful things you cannot involve me because you think I am not up to. Don't worry. Time will tell. In another way, I will come out from this situation and you will see me in a different manner. But time does tell, even from now. It tells. And if there is anything that is so serious with us today in our generation, is people waiting for their time to come. Nigerians are excellent. Very, very excellent for their time to come. And we have apportioned time to everything. And so we have quite a lot of issues. I want you to also look at and know that what you are going to become in life is entirely up to you. Whatever you are going to become in life is entirely up to you. It's entirely up to you. Whatever you're going to become. That is why I said it is a choice. It is also a freedom. So what you are going to become. Now, you know, we grew up in this country in 4 different areas. We have the East, we have the South, we have the West, then we have the North. So let me just use this one. Apart from the political issues that came and disrupted what we have been doing in this country. If you generally look at people from the North, they have their way of doing things. If you look at people from the East, they have a way of doing things. If you look at people from the South, they also have a way of doing things. Why? Because culturally and traditionally and from custom, we grew up with that. So they have to pass it to you, to pass it to you, to pass it to you. And so we naturally inherited it. So we move in it. Now, what has happened to us today? The places where we held so much traditions and cultures, you are no longer living there. You have moved from that place. Now you are living with people who don't even know your culture. So how are you going to behave? And that is the challenge we're having. I met some, we were able to have some meeting with some political people in this town. And we came across Christians and Muslims. And the convener of the meeting is a Muslim. But by the time we all showed up, everybody came in their way. And that already is a problem. That we are having a meeting and the pastors are coming as pastors, as if they are going to go to church. And the imams are ready as if they are going to lead prayers. And we all sat. The man said, I want a Muslim to pray and a Christian to pray. And that was done. And then he now asked me, he said, the first meeting we had, we were not, but this is. Now the challenge which I threw was, if we talk about one God, one nation, one Nigeria, why will a Muslim pray and why will a Christian pray? That still tells us that even though we are here, we are not one. It's because when you pray as a Muslim, I'm looking at you and say, no, your prayer cannot work for me. And then the Christian pray and the Muslim is saying, no, your prayer cannot work for me. Now, consciously we have these things. And we need somebody to disrupt it. Nigeria can never become the country that you are thinking to be with our mindsets. Because if we are going to execute oneness in this country, a lot of things must go. So what I'm saying here is, what you are going to become in life is entirely up to you. How many of us know that it is very, very easy? Very easy. Very, very easy to blame. Very easy to blame. In fact, the reason why there is no more and much execution is because blame has taken that place. When we used to have, when we run this program called Chisels for Champions, which is a program that is designed to disrupt the comfort of youth sitting down and waiting for their parents to do something for them. It's not a funny teaching. But you see, no matter what you teach in Nigeria, the application is not going to go. Yes. So our problem is no matter what you teach, people are used to. If by the time the American young man is 16, or the young lady, and the parents decide, okay, we are going to celebrate you. We are going to celebrate your birthday, 16th birthday. They'll first give you a car, but you stay in the family house. And you move from there till you are 18 years. And then now they say, you are now free. Which means go and get your house, stay in your house. So a young man of 18 years, a young girl of 18 years goes out to start paying light bill, water bill, house rent, tax. You cannot compare that young man with a Nigerian who is 30 plus staying home. Because the irresponsibility of us is the comfort that we have. My uncles are around, my aunties are around, my everything. I hope you're with me today. We become so comfortable, so nobody pays anything. Nobody. And then, sometimes even when we say, okay, go out, and we push them out, and by the time they come back to say, well, now I am and I want to. Have you discovered that we still give them the privilege that if it is tough for you, come back home? Have we said that? If you cannot manage your life, come back home. And so the traffic still goes on. Elisha, thank you for coming. And good morning. I'm sure you're doing well. So there are things we must begin to think and we must begin to work. Entirely what you are going to become is completely what you are supposed to do to become. And we have to consider that. I want you to also know to do for you and me, doing things differently because you were disrupted. And actually that is what we mean, and that is what we can do in this life. We must be disrupted. The story of the eagle. An eagle is a very great mother and father. And eagles married for life. They are birds, but they marry for life. They don't divorce. You are not a male eagle that you will be going around with all the female eagles. No, you only have your own. And so when they are going to give birth or reproduce, they go to a highest mountain, look at a cave that is safe enough, let the eggs be there, hatch them, and when it is time for weaning the eaglets, that is the disruption. The mother eagle will come and remove the fur, the cotton, the soft, the comfort that was there. Throw everything down and leave just nothing but skeletal of branches. And the eaglets are trying to manage one stick, to stand on one stick, and they are dancing like this. As they are trying to stabilize, that is how they flex their body to maturity. The eagle mother will leave and come back without any rabbit. It will just go and give them a false hope that when mommy is coming, there's going to be a rat, there's going to be a rabbit, there's going to be meat. And just swirl around and come back home, and there's nothing. And they are opening their mouths, and mama doesn't have food today. And one of the days, the mother eagle will start pushing the eaglet with the wings. Push, push. And then she sees that there is space. So the eaglet is moving and come to the edge, and there's nowhere to move, because if I move from here, I'm going to fall. And the mother eagle does not want to care. Move, and then push. Now when the eaglet is falling and raising and doing these things, flexing the cyclones, when the mother eagle knows that it's about to hit the ground, we just dive and carry back again. That's how they train them how to fly. Their emotions are stronger than human beings. Because even if you tell your child, today you will not eat because of discipline, after 1 hour, you are feeling like you are a wicked man. So you say, Kukirashi, gaskiya, amakere kekara. You know, and that is. So we really do not have. So disruption is distorting the normal pattern. And if we are going to, and every one of you sitting here, you have a normal pattern, which Elisha was able to deal with yesterday. There is virtually no man that you meet, they have more than 10 dreams. And those 10 dreams have been there for 20 years. They are speaking them every day you meet them. I will not be the same, let me tell you. And we have been the same. And we have forgotten that we are. So I want us to look at, there have been real examples of disruptions, changing. You know, we started from no telephone at all. What were we doing in the village? You remember in the village? You have to have a tin milk. Is that right? Tin of milk. You punch and you put thread inside. And then you draw it to your neighbor. And then he punch. Now when you speak inside, believe me, he will hear. Now in the village, what was that? Is it telephone or earphone or tin phone? Which one? So when you talk, he will actually hear from that extreme end. The only limitation was the length and how you're going to wire that one. So if you want to give a message to somebody, you can just pull that one. So we move from there to, we become Nitel. Are you remembering Nitel? Yes. And then we started dialing, which Elisha talked about yesterday. And then all of a sudden there was a heavy disruption. We had cellular. And cellular was the highest pitch for the highest people. So all of us were cut down. And then not too long ago, somebody came in and said, well, we are going to make these things available. Disrupted the scene. So once it was disrupted, it never becomes the same. It moves to another level. Then we have moved from there to where we are today. The first computer that was built is bigger than this wall. The first one, believe me. The desktop that you are talking about, what, bigger than this wall. And so they were saying, how can we give this to everybody? And they started working on it. What happened? When the Wright brothers came, they disrupted. There was Ford that took years to make Ford, and it was a car, and it was carrying people. But you remember, you and me also in the village, what happened? You have to take a corn stalk, is that right now? Put it in between your legs and try as if you are driving something. And you run around, and parents will be telling you, Kai, go and sit down, you people are making a lot of noise. It happened. Then we come from that place. And then if you wanted to be an aeroplane in your village, the only thing we know is you have to spread your wings and be running around and say, I'm aeroplane. Something happened. The Wright brothers sat and they said, we're going to do something. They disrupted. They created a market that never existed by providing the first aeroplane. And from that day, all that is happening is to disrupt and add, and disrupt and add, and improve. And now we are having supersonic, whatever you're talking about. You remember your locomotive, the train of those 70s? You have to cook food and plenty of them and keep it in your coach because you're going to Maiduguri from Port Harcourt. You have to have 7 days on the road to reach Maiduguri. Yes. Now, what are we talking about? Everything has been disrupted. Now, I'm asking you, is this disruptive world system that you are sitting in so comfortable like this, believing that it will come to you? There are things in life that we cannot even experience them, even if we see the advertisement. Because before the advertisement takes 1 year, it has become obsolete. So you won't even buy it. We are at a fast speed. If you look at the Netflix, those of you who are into computers, and what happened? It was a disruption. It brought in live streaming, so everybody now goes that way. What are we talking about? Skype. What happened? All these video calls and things like that, so you can, and then you have to use Skype to talk to somebody who is thousands of kilometers away from you. Disruption. What was the next thing? Wikipedia. We used to have dictionaries, and we have to buy them and put them like that. When Wikipedia came in, and they restricted the market of dictionaries and thoracist. Why? Because it was a disruption. Now we are having LED lights and bulbs, because from the beginning Albert Einstein tried and got us the tungsten, but it has moved from there too, and now people have small lights that are very powerful. They are laser lights. They can do so many things. This, what I'm saying to you, is that we are dealing with disruptions. I want you to understand and get this. If disruption is to distort normal patterns, what is it that you actually have that people know you with that is normal? And they are normal. We came from our backgrounds that you have to have only one work, and you do one work. When we were growing up in our secondary school days, the first colloquial English that we started hearing. Jack of all trades, master of, say it. And so if you want to do more than 3 things, somebody will use that one against you. But when we begin to challenge that statement, that man was actually an ignorant man. Because you can actually be jack of all trades, master of all. What are we talking about? Is still in the point of execution. I told us when I was in school about 1987, Coach Floyd had 23 degrees. 23 degrees. Each of the degree has to do with something practical. When you have a degree in home economics, I should be able to know that there's nothing you cannot handle. Is that right? 23 degrees, one man. He was an aircraft manufacturer, so he manufactures. He was a pilot. He was an engineer. He was an the wiring of everything in the plane. So he came with his own helicopter, and he was a missionary. So now you are seeing one man in 23 areas. David tried 7 areas. Is that right? Bezalel, have you read? Bezalel anointed plenty things. When you begin to read his own, and when Solomon was building the temple, he sent to King Huram and said to him, I want you to send me 23 people because they are going to do a job of 23. Their areas, they are going to construct 23. And I have fixed their salaries, their welfare, and everything. This is how much I'm going to pay them. King Huram from Syria wrote back to Solomon and said to him, I have only one man who can do the whole work you are looking for 23 for. And I say, Kai? Now, you know, most people believe that Christians are the ones who are supposed to do great and mighty things. That's why we're angry with God. When other people are doing it and they are not Christians and they are doing great, it's like, oh no, why is it that the unbelievers are doing? Principles, like we were told yesterday, they are very neutral. That is why a woman can pilot a craft. Is that right? Yes. That's why a beggar can be taken from the street and be made a pilot. Yes. They are just neutral. So please, let's begin to look at some of these things. Now, if we are actually going to disrupt for advancement, then we need to look at the things that we are going to disrupt. That when we really do it, we will have advancement. So, opening and actually growing business. How are we going to do that? Because most of the people that are in businesses, it's what they inherited. It's a business that they grew up in that. So it's not that something new happened to them. They grew up in that kind of. So we must be equipped to stand toe to toe with the World Economic Board members. And that is where we are failing. You know, I have not seen where, maybe some of you might have gone very far to tell me. Have you seen any government from anywhere coming to Nigeria to borrow anything? Just borrow. Yes. What? What are they borrowing that they will pay us in interest? They know. They know that we are not equipped enough. So there's nothing they're going to borrow from us. But they are equipped enough to open doors that finally become shackles for us. We get into it and then we don't. A disruptive idea is an idea that creates a new brand market. So let's be looking at that. If we are going to advance because of disruptive movement, a disruptive idea basically is an idea that creates a new market. That's why I told us, I said Wikipedia, Netflix, and the rest of them. Elisha talked about the Uber, which is a taxi kind of thing that has been going on. It's been existing. But we're not going to look at Uber and say that, okay, that was a disruptive thing. No, it was something that was there. Somebody came in and improved on it. But disruptive idea is to bring an idea that has never been anywhere before, and you create a new way. In doing that, you are going to get a lot of money because you'll be the first to do that. That is why you find people who are into ICT, they are trying to do programming and produce softwares that they can sell. And why Israel is doing good is because that is what they specialize. Israel, after studying the whole world, they wrote the book, The Jewish Phenomenon. And when you read, you're going to come to a conclusion that Israel has only 7 areas of their expertise. They don't go beyond that. Their children read courses that fit into the 7 areas. Everything. And that is what they keep doing. And they work on that. So let's look at it. It is also, when you create a new market, it also creates value network. I know some of the things, when you begin to do seminars like this, since we are not in the system of doing it, some words are not, they are just strange. Yes. By doing this, it actually disrupts the existing market. Sometimes it even replaces the leaders. You know, when you begin to talk about, there were great companies. When you read Good to Great by Jim Collins, you're going to find out that great companies, now there are no more. When you go to CNN, you will see 100 years companies. Is that right? They are telling you companies that survive 100 years. The thousands and millions never reach 100 years. So what do we say in business? That business is like giving birth to a child. Most children die between the ages of 1 and 5. Businesses also die between the first year and the 5th year. Most of them. Marriages also collapse in those areas. People also, they don't finish courses in schools of any kind. 5 years is enough. You disengage, you destroy everything, and then you are out of all that has happened. But I want you to look at that when you have a new market, it also replaces the leaders. Is that right? Disruption. We are talking presently, working on what we are looking at as Dangote, and we talk about that. And we started saying in our seminars that we have the word omnipresence. Is that right? That God, come on, is omnipresent, which means he is found everywhere. And we ask ourselves questions. Who is a Nigerian that can be found everywhere? That this name also can go to, say, you're not saying something? That this name also can go to him. Omnipresent. So Dangote is in your salt, is in your sugar, is in your soup. Come on. Is in your building. Now very soon he will enter your car as fuel. Yes. He is everywhere. Whether you like him or not, you will. So he actually resembles God by bearing his name. Omni. So you and me can be Jehovah Shammah, the Lord is here. So, which means where you are is just where you are. In another way, you cannot be in different places. You will just be somewhere. Can I get somebody here? Come down. Just come up here. Let me see something here. Where's Jamilu? He's up doing what? Tell him to come down and get some things done here. All right. So now we have to think about this. Now let me just go and begin to tell us. When you and me sit down in this country and we begin to look at the Chinese, say amen. The Chinese, are they coming to Nigeria? They have been coming to Nigeria. They have come to Africa. They have come to us in Africa. And the question is, what are they looking for? And we know very well that you will think they love us. Nigerians, when we begin to sleep in our minds, they are busy in their minds. And for people who will disrupt a system, they see something that you don't see, which we were told yesterday is vision. They come to Nigeria and see rails, and we don't see rail. They come to Nigeria and they see how they can take all our roads and change them to nylon tires, and we are patching the roads. They come to Nigeria and they see where there will be no 1 minute light off. And since we are negotiating with them and we are saying no, 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 with all political issues inside, they decide they will be giving you generators. And they do generators and send them to you, and they fix time limit for those things to be out of work. So literally, we buy things that we actually cannot use. When they look at us as Nigerians, I tell you this, they size every one of us. They size your brain, they size your creativity, they size your pocket, they size your innovations, your creative ability. The Chinese size all of them, and they provided solutions for everything they size. And they say, can we do this? 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 And we're saying, yes. Now, this is how they do. Now, I want us to look at it. How come that when you get to roadside constructions, you're going to see the Chinese are the engineers? Why? Because even you and me, because of how they size us, they went into your mind and they told you that your brother can never be reliable. You cannot depend on your brother. If you are looking for great and quality work, don't look for your brother. So I prefer to get a Chinese to do a construction for me than my own Nigerian who is having the same degree, better, to come and work for me. That they have succeeded in doing that. They size us that if we can make their heads to collide, we can succeed. So all the engineers we have in this country, all of them, if you look at all of them, they can do better. Have you seen, and I know you have been going through and you read, that in the whole world, the black man is actually outstanding, doing great and mighty work. But they only leave this country to go to where they will never come back and become beneficial to us. And that is. So let me just do this. This is where I was saying that when you are equipped While you are sleeping, people have sized you up. That's it. And I said they have sized your pocket, they have sized your money, they have sized your mineral resources, your national resources. They have done that. And they will start visiting us. I want you to look at, if we are going to disrupt, first of all, I want you to be very, very plain. This is what you're going to do. Focus on solving your own problem. Focus. That's the first way. You know why I'm saying this? Most of you have never solved a problem that is you. Auntie has come and solved it. Father has solved it. Mother solved it. Neighbors solved it. Colleagues solved it. Friends solved it. That is not to take the place or to replace the place of network. No. But you have never handled a problem that reveals your strength and your ability and capacity. It is always somebody help me. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Now, if we are going to do that, what's going to happen? So, first, you have to identify your competitors. Identify them and identify their weaknesses. Because that is the only place you can. For us to meet a problem, meet a need, solve a problem, or whatever it's going to be, you have to find out something that somebody didn't see when he was doing what he was doing. And when you can see what somebody did not see and you come out with it, that is, all these cars that we're having all kinds of musics inside. When Henry Ford did that, there was no music. Somebody saw it and he said, let me do something that will carry this thing and put it inside your car so that people will not be bored when they are in a hold-up. And that is why you are seeing all these stereos and MP3s and videos that you have inside your car. Somebody did that. He saw something and he said, we can make it and it will always be better. Let me say this. The people that are coming, the Chinese and everyone who wants to come to this country and promise doing something for us, they actually have a plan for you. Seriously, they have a plan for you. They want you to have the crumbs. And we talked about yesterday how Jesus multiplied. But these people, they want us to have the crumbs. But are you capable of not having the crumbs, but sitting on the table as partners? Each time you want somebody to work for you and work for you and work for you, or employ you, you can actually move from that point and become a board member. You can actually be part of the system as a partner. You can actually come in. But each time we do not sit with them on the table of negotiation, what we are doing is we are eating the crumbs. And when you take the crumbs, believe me, you will take it as a favor, as a great gift being done to us. So let us look at this. An idea is said to be disruptive if it only creates a new market that doesn't or didn't exist, or if it pays heed on proving a product to ignore demanding customers. Now, there are, when Jeff Bezos was to build Amazon, people laugh. You know, it's like you cannot do that. So now you have only one place that the whole world will go to buy almost anything. And he started building. He saw a demand from customers that even the suppliers cannot meet. And he decided to say, we are going to have a company that will meet the needs of all customers. And in fact, if you order a thing and it's not according to your specification, you can return it and they can also replace it. He did that. It took them time. What do they have? They have only 12 principles that they run in Amazon. 12. And one of them is that customers make anything that is called business. And I listened to Mammon yesterday when he was talking about get to any store or anywhere, whether it is a hotel, it's a restaurant, it's a shop, it's anyhow, even the keke people and the bike people, we fight. The atmosphere is hostile. You cannot be talking about courtesy in businesses. Go to our universities, go to our classes, see our lecturers, see our students. I'm telling you, go to the bank. You have a problem, the way they will deal with you as if you lost your head. Why? Because there is something they are looking for. It is because we are using an old system that the boss is always the boss. So to disrupt this is you have to know that the leader is always a servant. Can I hear amen on that? The leader is what? Is always a servant. The leader, believe me, is always a servant. Have you seen how the church looks like? And Jesus Christ came. When he came, he took a particular leadership style and disrupt the one that we had. Nobody, you see, nobody in this country want to be disrespected, especially when they are pastors. They just don't want to do that. They have something that they don't want to even believe is going to be part of what they are. So we need to put these things. Let me say this. Jesus met a system of leadership that the leaders put more load on the followers. And he came, he did something that you can actually look at and say, why was he doing it? He washed the feet of all his disciples. And these were people who were not wearing cover shoes, in sandals. And they have, apart from boat, they have never traveled with anything. So their feet was dusty. Everything was. They moved to a place Jesus washed. And they were telling him, why are you doing this? And he said, you will not understand, but the time will come that you will. He said, for the leaders that you people have, they lord it over you. But I have come to disrupt this system. I'm creating a system of leadership that never existed. What is that going to be? For us to move forward, the leaders must become the servants. And I'm telling you, right as I stand here, nobody will want to accept with that scripture, even those of you who are Christians. It is why the husband will beat his chest and say, I am the head of this family. It's coming from that. That the disruption was taking place 2,000 years ago. You are still repeating something that he came to actually condemn. That is, when you enter office, you're going to find this girl serving you tea. They are serving you biscuit. They clean your table. They do everything. The moment you walk in, they must be the first to greet you. Because that is what it means to be honored. But can you greet them first? No, it doesn't work in Nigeria. And then you call them. You send them. You distort almost everything they are to do. I asked this question in one of our live streaming and I say, can you improve the girl that serves you? The people we bring in to work in our homes as cleaners, house helps. Can you grow them and make them better than when you found them? Can you create something that they never had? Or you still want to show them that I am the one who employ you and you must do this work? It is like that in the church. So the pastors now have become almighty. The church members are the ones who are running around and serving, and you dare not say anything or do anything or any other. That is something that they have said no. I want us to, as I am coming to where I will have a pause, when you read our time of music, disruption happened during music. When Steve Jobs was working, he saw all of these things. If you want to go around, you carry your DVD, you carry your CD plate, you carry everywhere. Everywhere you're going, you have to carry them. Plenty like that. and walk around. And he said, no, I'm going to produce a device that all your music will go into one small thing and it will be in your pocket. Is that right? He created something that never existed. So people will carry just something small like this, stuck it in their pocket, and you have hundreds of music right inside. The only thing you put it, you select which one you want to play, and that. Or you just allow it to go. And it was the iPod. Completely. CDs begin to suffer. Have you seen that? CDs begin to suffer. And then he moved on and say, I'm going to do something that all of this, your big screen of TVs and whatever, that it will never be time that you're going to sit down as a family and be watching 9 o'clock news. You can watch it anywhere. You can sit under a tree and watch. Have you not seen it now? Most TVs now are almost, people don't sit in parlors like they used to sit when it is 4 p.m. And then it's going to be what, 4 p.m. Everybody will gather because they will start news from 4, and by 10 it is over. Now, nobody is like that. What am I saying? That disruption is to distort normal patterns. And if things like this are going on, then you need to know which pattern are you used to, and you can actually disrupt. I want to tell you something also here, that before now we had what was normal, if it is normal, colonization. The getting off our what? Slaves. And then people coming to Nigeria to colonize us. But now what is going on is a new colonization. And it is actually called economic colonization. They discovered that one was too practical. This one seems not to be obvious, but it is. And they have done that to us. Aristotle made a statement and he said, probable impossibilities are to be preferred to improbable possibilities. Yes. Probable impossibilities are to be preferred to improbable possibilities. We just sit down and we say, no, it's not going to work. No, it's not going to happen. It has never happened. There is somebody who has seen it happen many times. And so we also heard yesterday that you have to shift from your mind, which is an idea, down to your hands, which becomes a skill or a thing that you handle, and you can do that. If we are to disrupt right, then you have to serve an unmet need. And let's look at it. All the businesses we are talking about, it is. Example, all the restaurants are disrupted businesses. You used to cook only 2 of you, or you started from you alone. You cook rice very well. Is that okay? Rice was cooked very well. Then somebody came and joined you, 2 of you, cook that rice very well. It is the same cooked very well rice that people amplify the pot. And they say, since you people don't have anything to do at home, I will cook for you. You come and pay and take your food and what? And go. So the McDonald's we are talking about, they were disrupted. It's just normal way of cooking that people put it out. And I'm saying this. If tomorrow we decide to hire a chef and we say, okay, from Monday to Saturday, we are giving you this whole. Use it. But we'll be having services on Sunday. That man will make hell of money right here. Right here. Because all is it. The pure water you are buying is the one you fetch. Say yes now. Is the one you fetch in a cup and drink. So somebody say, let me package it for you. So you now buy. And then somebody say, no, I need to move it again. Let me disrupt this. So they move it to bottle. Is that right? Now, somebody is sitting down and saying, I want to move it to an alkaline setting, which means there will be no disease in the water you will drink, because all bottled waters are not alkaline. So, but we are looking for that person who is going to bring in alkaline water, because bacteria, they don't survive on an alkaline environment. So, when you go to hospital, they run your tests and everything. The first thing they will ask you, they say, there's typhoid, there's malaria. They will ask you, what kind of water are you drinking? And then when you ask somebody like that in Kaduna State, it looks like it's a strange question. What kind of water? That we don't have water board or whatever we are now having, nothing is coming up from that point. I am saying, what can you do to meet an unmet need now? What do you have that you know you can? These people have colonized generally our value system completely. That's what they have done. And I want to say this, like he said yesterday, in a different way. We cannot become a vital member of the society when you and me are broke. It is why they will always take the decisions and give us the announcements. They can decide when dollar is going to be high and when it is. Now, $1 is what? 570 to 600. Just one. And there's nothing you are going to do about it. If you like, you can be so angry until you die. They will even know that you die because you're angry for something. Because you are not among the people that when you die, people will know that they are losing something. That's how we have become. And I want you to also look at it that you can actually spot an existing market scarcity or unmet customer need and actually do that. Right where you are, there is a business. What are people leaving your village or your area, your environment, to go to town to go and buy? You can tell them, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? What do you need? I'm going to the market. I'm going to buy. You just stay home. When I bring it, you're going to add this because of my transport, because of this and this and that. That is great business right where you are. But you know, we like all of us to move and be getting bosses. So who are the people collecting our money? The boss people. So money does not. Now, the Jewish person allows money to cycle within themselves 7 times before it goes out. It is why they know we are not people that they can depend on. So no Jew in this country, deposit, save, and keep their money in our banks. None. They don't. They are in this country, they have their banks, they have their way of doing things, but they are in this country. They cannot be us. They can't come to us. Why? It is simply this way. They know it. Money must. And then they are told to buy from one another. Keep buying. The only way it's going to go out is when it's going to hit a higher level price market. So they stay in Israel, small land, but they have all kinds of, they control 70% of the money in the world. They create and sell and create and sell. They just stay in one place and they do. Once they know there's a niche there, they will go and solve these ones. We are not. I want you to look at yourself even as I am, and then we will take the second session maybe when I'm closing. I want you to come up with a solution for scarcity. So what are you thinking? What is it that you know is scarce in this country? What is it? Have you sat down to think of the drugs that Nigerians are taking and we are not getting healed? Drugs that Nigerians are taking, medications that they don't work. They can give you in packs. You can take all of them until your mouth changes to something. You will never be healed. You keep going for treatment. Keep going for treatment. What is it? Are you actually thinking about even the water system? What happens if the landlords are not providing boreholes? What is it that the government can do? Or what's it that you are going to do that will actually relieve and cause this thing? Because we are talking about disruption for advancement. And I'm asking you one big question which you're going to actually think of. How are we going to disrupt the lack of peace and peaceful coexistence among us, even in Kaduna State as a state small? Let's just start from there. What are we going to do to provide a lasting peace? What is it? Most of us, maybe because of the meeting today, we are from different areas. But there are areas you cannot just go. If you go there and it's getting to 5 p.m., you just have to see a way of running out quickly. And those areas, believe it or not, if peace does not exist in that place, there is obviously a point that your business can never go there. Your business can never reach that place because already you have sized them. They don't like you. You have sized them. They are not your religion. You have sized them. They are not your tribe. You have sized them. They are wicked people. You won't take anything there. So we will not be talking about that. The Kaduna South House of Representative, very good friend, when he was coming to do the campaign and things like, he has heard about me. I have not seen him. So he said, somebody told him so much and he wanted to. So we met. And then he said, he has. And I asked him, I said, what have you done that if I look at you, I will say you are a Muslim, but you are a different Muslim? And those who were around him, they showed me some things he did in the community here in television. And then he told me, he said he built kidney dialysis center in Uzzah Wado. And I look at him and I said, if I am having challenge with my kidney, I won't go there. Because one night is enough for me to die. I will just be believing that they will come through the window and kill me. Really, I am looking for health, but I am not peaceful to go and stay there. And I told him, I said, when we are doing things like this, it's a good work you have done, but it's going to restrict. Are you going to take a patient who is around 2 a.m. to go to Uzzah Wado? Huh? Now, and so also is the same, because we created this thing so everybody is afraid of one another. Now, what I'm saying is, can you spot this and create a solution for lack of peace? All the NGOs that are talking about, let's have peace, they will try. After 2 minutes, you don't hear them again. They will try. After 2 minutes, you don't hear. And I'm asking, what is happening? What is really happening? What is the quality of your product if you're going to be? Because disruption has to do with bringing a quality that has never been on ground. And Steve Jobs did that. When they were bringing all kinds of handsets, Samsung and the rest of them, they asked him, and he said unto them, he said, let them be producing anything. He said, when our own is out, I want somebody to look at the quality, kiss the product, and cry. And it happened. When they say that it's okay, everybody's going to go, people queue for 2 weeks, 14 days, just to see the iPhone. They were in a queue 2 weeks. And when they saw how sleek and the quality, they lick it and cry. Somebody was asked why. He said, I stood in here for 14 days. He bought it, he kissed it, cried, and sold it. He said, I just wanted to see something I have never seen. Quality. And I am saying this. Can we do that? You can actually have something at a very high quality and the price is less. You have disrupted the existing market. But you cannot have low quality product and the price is terrible. That's not a disruption. It's to create something that people will like and the price is affordable. You can pull all the market. Yes. And that is what makes some of the things that you think about here. Now let me just tell you this. On my way, if I am going home, those of you who know Zikda schools, yes, before Viviana, there is a pharmaceutical store there. And then right from there to the end of the corner, Post Office Road now, that end where Chop Complete is, before that corner, the difference in the medications was 1,500. Same drug. You buy it from that shop and you move just 2-3 minutes to the next shop. Their one is higher by 1,500. Same high cost. The man who is, you know, as IDOT, that shop, you go in there, you are suffocating because of the traffic of customers. And there are many, many shops. Now somebody will say he's using juju, he has sacrificed something, he has done something. No, there are real things that go on. What is your product? What is your skill? Is your skill that of an expertise? And what are your charges? Because if your skill is too high and the charges are sophisticated, you will get money but once in a while. And money is not gotten like that occasionally. Money is supposed to be a flow. No matter what it's supposed to be, it's supposed to be a flow, non-stop flow. Even if it is the kobo you're talking about, it has to be a flow. Not that one day you hit big thing and then you take money and it's going to take you another 6 months for you to get another thing. This is why when you are a contractor or you are an expertise in any area and they want you to handle a particular project, because you have stayed long without having any money, you want to cut their head. By the time they do all of that one, that's the last thing you will be the last person they will ever remember in their lives. So, we have to become disruptive. And it has to be intentional. You can never lower any standard. But you cannot also make it not to be accessible. Somebody will look at that and definitely have it. Lesser prices, great quality. Yes. They will tell the story, and tell the story until you see that one happen. These great people who sit on the tables, if you don't disrupt what we are saying, the truth is that they don't want you to be on the table with them. Not to even negotiate. I will be ending this part by this session with the story of Jacob and Esau. Is that? When God was coming, he knew exactly that inheritance has been by what? Seniority. And God wanted to disrupt that mentality. Until today, all of us, we have never learned from it. Anytime I'm talking with the Igbos, they will say, whether you are a good man or you are a bad man, the first one is the one who is going to. Whether you are 20 males, the first male will be after the father or whatever happened. Look at what happened. It took 20 years for Isaac to get first children. And incidentally, he went to God. God gave him twins. And God said to Rebekah, we are going to distort the normal pattern. Till today and tomorrow, no matter how much we teach, people still go back to what they used to. We will distort the normal pattern. The normal pattern is that first come, first serve. The firstborn is the one who is going to inherit. And God said, I'm going to destroy this. Right from Adam till when Esau and Jacob were born, that was a system. He said, two people are in your womb. Two kinds of people, which means they are not the same. Two manner of people, different kinds, same model. And then he said that I want you to know that the older shall serve the younger. And you know, in their natural, traditional Jewish birth, that does not go anywhere with Jacob, with Isaac. Never. He didn't even thought about it. Rebekah kept wondering, what is the meaning of that? Older shall serve the younger. What is the meaning of that? If they are twins, the one who first comes is going to be the firstborn. Other tribes, like I have said it in Nigeria, other tribes says that the one who first comes is the junior, because the senior sent the junior. That's what they told me in different areas. Others say that the senior came to say, let me see first before you come. In any way, you have your own interpretation. This is what I'm saying. One, he came out, Isaac named him according to their pattern. They started growing. When they begin to grow, one grew up and became this, another one grew up and became that. And what was the challenge? The hunter was loved by the father. The one who stays home and had mild. And I told us, if you go and begin to study the word mild, M-I-L-D, mild, is a Hebrew word that means a person who does everything with principles. That's the meaning of the word mild. Which means you can never find Jacob to do something wuru-wuru. But all of us in the church, I don't know the Muslims, but in the church, we know him as wuru-wuru man. We call him 419. We call him cheater. We call him scorner. Yes, that's the name. But that was the man that has ever lived, that did everything about his life with complete principles. So a mild man is a man who can never cheat, can never steal, can never take anything that belongs to any other person else. Now, but we say he stole Esau's birthright. Have you seen why he told Esau, if you want this, give me what? Give me your birthright. He wanted to know if he actually valued what he has. And he said, what good is birthright when a man is dying? Now, was he dying? No, it was just hunger. Now, you see how Africans are. Because we exaggerate our problems to the point that there is no solution. Have you seen somebody put his hands on his head and say, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do again. Every time we do that. I have done everything. Have you heard them? I have done everything. You didn't do anything. So at that point, you are just going to find out. God said I'm going to. And then, so now let's look at them. Esau and Jacob. Who is the older? Esau. But what did God say? The older. Was it a direct personal prophecy that this is a prediction? Esau, no matter what you do, you must have. No. The older is referring to older system. The younger is a disrupted system. So now if you are going to come in and you want to maintain the old system, you will be a slave. Until today, that's what we have never changed from what it is. So what happened? You can see it. He said, what am I looking for birthright for when I'm dying? Just give me. And he said, no. Listen to him. He said, no, you must sign. Seriously. You must take an oath. And taking an oath is to actually sign. Which means I, Esau, Isaac, from today, release. Yes, I cease to be the firstborn. I cease to be the person who will be given the birthright. I cease to be. Are you hearing me? And the Bible says when Jacob saw that he has signed, he now gave him bread and gave him water. And read the next statement. He said, and that is how Esau forfeited his future. In bread. That was all. So, but this is what happened. The fears were still in Jacob. The mother was trying to do something that Jacob had already completed. There was no need for putting skin and trying to be like, no. There was no need. He would have just come and say, we had a business with my brother. He sold me and I paid him. But didn't work. So they put the skin and he wanted to change his voice note, but it cannot work. So he said, but I can sense that this voice is that of Jacob. How come that your body is looking like that? Dichotomized person. So, but you see what happened? He said, anyway, so he stood up and blessed him. Why? Because the new system is that we must negotiate, we must sign, come on, and it must be sealed. So, Mensa Otabil will always say, do not negotiate on empty stomach. Because you cannot think well. When you are desperate and you want to sell something, the person is going to gain. Is going to gain. When you are desperate, you want to sell a land, they will give you anything for whatever you're looking for. And then tomorrow you will regret. That has been. I challenge us. I will be concluding, yes. But I want you to begin to think, what is it now that you can truly, truly disrupt? What is it that you can truly, truly disrupt and say it will never be part of anything that I want to? What is it? A pattern that you consider normal, that you're going to say, no, this will not work this way. And I discovered that normal people can never cause anything to happen in the world, no matter what they do. So we need to move from that aspect and come somewhere else, and it will be good. Is that okay? So thank you for coming, and great time to be with you. It's good to have you here. So